So then, diplomatic sources in Sudan have told Al Jazeera the army is suspending talks with the rapid support forces in Saudi Arabia. The two sides agreed a 5-day ceasefire extension on Monday, but it was violated a day later. Heavy fighting took place across the capital, Khartoum. The deal was supposed to allow the delivery of humanitarian aid. US and Saudi monitors say last week's truce was subject to severe violations. Let's come straight away to Al Jazeera's Mohammed Val, who's covered Sudan extensively, joins us here in the studio. So, Mohammed, tell us more about this and what's happening.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a culmination of weeks of frustration on the part of, expressed frustration on the part of the Sudanese government and the military in particular, saying that RSF continued to violate the ceasefires and there is no meaning for this ceasefire. We still need to hear more from the army on this thing. We need an official statement in which they detail and probably reiterate these reasons, the reasons why they withdrew from the talks. We know that the two sides limited themselves from the very beginning to a humanitarian aspect to the negotiations. So it's not about ending the war, and the army is more and more expressive and vociferous about the lack of results and the vicious cycle in which the two sides are. You know, every ceasefire has been violated. This is, I think, the one that is going on now is the 13th in weeks. So every single ceasefire has been invariably violated, probably by the two sides, but they blame each other. Also, it depends. It has to do with who has the upper hand right now. We have seen that the chief of the RSF, Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, is invisible. He has been invisible for weeks, and rumors about his death. On the other hand, we have al-Burhan increasing his visibility in the field, visiting his military in the field, and talking about what is next, talking about what the military should do in case RSF refuses to comply to the demands of the military, either surrendering or leaving Khartoum. So even yesterday he talked about the fact that the military hasn't yet used enough force in this battle to protect the lives of civilians, and if there is no change in the behavior of the RSF, the army is going to use lethal force this time around.
Right. You mentioned the humanitarian effort. Tell us about that and how that is affected by these continued violations of the ceasefire, because millions are in need, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, the purpose of the talks in Jeddah was to stop the violations and to help the civilians reorganize their life and, you know, go to safe places and so on. But that hasn't happened. We still have people fleeing Khartoum. We still have people trapped in their homes in Khartoum because RSF, and I mean, according to the reports, is using civilians as human shields and also fighting inside the residential areas. So nothing has changed actually, and that's why anybody in Sudan, any one of the two sides can say that these truces and these talks are good for nothing.
All right, Mohammed, we'll leave there for the moment. Thanks very much indeed for that update, Mohammed Val, there on this developing situation in Sudan. Thank you.